of you that don't know me, thank you for finding me. My name is Amy Tyler. I am an ex-banker turned online coach, and I'm an expert in helping professional women to take care of their health and well-being, their fitness, their relationship with food, their body image, and ultimately to help them build confidence. That is what I do. That is my entire mission in life. And that is what I'm going to be using this channel to support with. I want to use this channel as a place to talk about the stuff that women need to know when it comes to taking care of their health and well-being, outside of all of the diet culture, fat loss nonsense that exists in the world. This is a safe space for professional women to come and look after themselves and learn how to do that. And that is what we're going to be talking about today, because I am also a professional woman. I run my own business. I run my own coaching business supporting professional women. And right now I need to get my shit together. I have got a very, very busy end of the year coming up. I'm recording this episode on, I think it's the 30th of October today. It is less than 8 weeks till Christmas now. Let's not even think about that because that is terrifying. And I've got a lot to get done before this year ends. I am in the process of rebuilding my coaching program. I have recently stepped away from marketing fat loss coaching. I don't offer that anymore. So I'm moving into this whole new space and I'm rebuilding my business, which is very exciting, but also a lot of work. I'm also getting ready to launch something super exciting for the end of the year that will start in January. Keep your eyes peeled for that. Again, a lot of work. I am currently kind of in sprint mode for that. I'm also, if you didn't know, I'm getting married next year, so I'm planning a wedding. And yeah, I've got a lot going on. And I've also got all the social stuff coming up with it being, unfortunately, nearly Christmas. And in amongst all of that, over the last couple of weeks, I realised that I had let my career take precedent over self-care. And it's something a lot of professional women struggle with. And this time of year, I think, particularly makes it so much harder. The clocks have just changed, the days are shorter, they are darker, life is more miserable. It's much easier to want to curl up inside and comfort eat and stay on the sofa and stay nice and warm than to do the things that you know are going to make you feel good. So this is the time of year where it's really hard to have your shit together, and it's so tempting, I know, to wait until January, to go, oh, wait until the new year to get stuff sorted. But there is no such thing as a perfect time. I know for you right now, you're busy. You're probably dealing with year-end targets and budgets and planning the Christmas party and trying to get everything over the line before the end of the quarter. I know that. January is going to come around and it's going to be equally as busy. So we do not need to wait until January to get our shit together. We can get our shit together now. I'm doing it and you can do it too. So that is what I'm going to talk about today, is what I am doing to get my shit together. I think the important thing to mention though is that when I talk about getting my shit together, talk about taking care of my health and fitness, talk about looking after myself, this is not about fat loss. I am not in a place right now where I want to change my body or feel like I need to. And in fact, I think often diet culture and the need to feel like every time we want to look after ourselves, it comes from fat loss is actually really damaging. For me, and for a lot of professional women, we don't need another diet. What we need to do is take care of ourselves. And that is what I am doing here. Because over the last couple of weeks, I have realised that I feel sluggish, I feel a bit of a fog, I feel not very well focused, I feel like I'm not sleeping great, like I'm not recovering well, like I don't have great boundaries, and that I need to get my shit together. Basically, I need to start getting some structure in place and start getting me right so that I can be in the best place possible for my business. So that is what I'm going to be doing. And what I will do today is share the 3 key areas that I'm focusing on to get my shit together. So let's start with the first one. And it is probably the most obvious and the most cliched, but it's getting some movement in. It's getting in some exercise. Now, I personally have gone through lots of phases with workouts. There was one point in my professional career where I was genuinely in the gym at 5 o'clock every morning because I needed it in order to stay sane. Was it the most healthy thing for me to do? Probably not, but it's what I did and it was fine. How I am approaching getting my shit together from a movement perspective is as follows. I am making sure that I do some kind of activity, some kind of exercise every single day. Now, I get asked a lot of what is the best form of exercise to do? And the really boring answer is there is no such thing as the best form of exercise. There's a best form of exercise for you. But every single woman should be doing some form of strength training. It is so important for your health, for your bone density, for your well-being. If you want to look good, it's going to help, I'm not going to lie. But for me personally, and for all of the women that I work with, the reason that I heavily encourage independently done strength training, so not doing a class or like a body pump or anything like that, but going into a gym or working out from home and lifting some weights on your own is what it does for your mental well-being, for your confidence, for your focus, for your mindset. For me, lifting weights is a form of meditation. I know that sounds really weird, but genuinely it helps me in so many ways. So part of me getting my shit together is making sure that I get back into the habit of doing some strength training. Now, I am not one of these people who is in the gym every day because I've not got time to drive 20 minutes to the gym there and back every day. That's 40 minutes out of my day every day. That's a waste of time. So I am committing over the next, going forward really, that I'm going to do 2 strength training sessions a week. For me, I split these up as full body sessions, so I do 2 full body sessions a week. I am also committing to doing 3 runs a week. Now, you don't have to do this. You could do different forms of exercise, but for me, I find running incredibly beneficial. It gets me out of the house. It means that I get some daylight. It forces me to go outside. If the weather's crap, it's more pleasant to run in crap weather than walk in crap weather because you get it out the way quicker. But also, very personally, I'm running a marathon next year. I've committed to running a marathon for a charity very close to my heart, which I will talk about at some point on this channel because I think there's some interesting stuff to chat about there. And I know that in order to run this marathon next year, I need to be running now. So I am committing over the next couple of months to run 3 times a week. Now, the way I'm splitting those runs up is I'm doing 1 long run, which is sort of 10 kilometers plus a week, and then 2 shorter runs. One that's more of like a kind of interval-y, fun, get my heart rate up sort of run that I can do on a treadmill if I have to, and 1 recovery run. So run 1 slower, easy, stick a podcast in and just go for a jog, sort of a run. So that's 5 sessions. And I then also do a reformer Pilates session a week, which for me is a really important part of my movement, is to have something that has a community focus. As I say, I work from home, I work on my own, I'm self-employed, I don't have any employees. I often can go a very long time without seeing other people in person because of the nature of the job that I do. So for me, having a Pilates class that I can go to where I just get to interact with other people, spend time in an environment around other people, and do something where I have to focus and I have to just be in my body and spend time with myself, reconnecting with my body is really, really important. And then I also, every single day, am committing, no matter what the weather, to going for a walk. I have a dog. He is really, really cute. And so I do have to walk him every day. Otherwise, I get really dirty looks. So I will be committing to doing that as well. So when it comes to movement and getting your shit together, the most important thing is doing something. And doing something every single day. And that something doesn't have to be a workout. For me, I am doing quite a lot of workouts because that aligns with my lifestyle and aligns with where I'm at from an exercise standpoint. But if you're brand new to exercise, if you're not doing anything right now, commit to doing something every day that just keeps you moving. And that might be just going out for a walk at lunchtime every single day. That might be committing to going to a yoga class once a week. That might be committing to trying the gym and going to do a workout once a week, on top of going for a walk every single day, but making sure that every day you are doing something that takes you from being sat in your desk chair to doing something and being intentional about that. Just walking to the tube station doesn't really count. Then that's really important. So that is the first thing, movement. The second thing that I'm implementing, step 2, is having a check-in and a check-out every single day. Now, hands up if you work from home. Me, I work from home, and I'm sure a lot of you do too. Working from home is fantastic. When I worked in the corporate world, when I was in banking, I used to dream about working from home. I loved it when my boss was on holiday because it was brilliant to not have to go into the office. But now, obviously post COVID and all of that malarkey, now I work from home all the time. I really, really miss being in an office. And it's not just because of the social element. I do miss that. I miss the pub after work. But for me, it's having that separation between work and home. My commute, even though it was long and ridiculously expensive, it allowed me to check in and check out of work, to leave work at the office or leave work in London. And something that I have gotten really bad at over the last couple of months is letting my work and my home life bleed together. I have an office at home, but it is very easy for me to wander in there after work. I find it quite difficult sometimes to sit down and start work because I almost feel like I'm still in home mode. I'm still being a dog mum or fiance or wedding planner or, trying to sort the laundry out. I'm still dealing with all of that stuff. And I am not switched into work. So something that I am implementing is a check-in and a check-out every day. My check-in in the morning is quite simple. I start off by voice noting myself, just articulating out loud all the things that are on my mind, the things I'm thinking about from a work perspective, a client perspective, marketing stuff, but also personal stuff. We're trying to get our bathroom renovated, like all of those things that are on my mind, I just voice note to myself, and that just gets it out of my head, allows me to kind of articulate. The next thing that I do in my check-in is then I sit down with my notebook, which I have here, and I will literally write down my to-do list for the day, all the things I have to get done. And at the bottom, I draw a line and I write what my success criteria for the day is. What is the thing that I will do today that if I do it means it's been a success? And sometimes that is a work thing. It might be that I've got to make sure that I have sorted out a bunch of people's programs, and if I do that, then that is a success for the day. Sometimes it's a personal thing. Sometimes it's actually, I need to make sure that I get my 8-kilometer run done today. So that if I do that and nothing else, today has been a success. Sometimes it's just like staying calm. I need to make sure today I don't get stressed, I don't get frazzled. If I can keep my screen time below a certain point on my phone, whatever it might be, what is your success criteria for the day? I tend to do all of that while drinking a coffee because that makes everything better. And then really importantly, at the end of the day, I check out. So at the end of the day, I go back through that to-do list. I cross off everything I've done. I move everything that needs doing the following day to a separate column so I can see, right, okay, those are things I've got to make sure I have on my to-do list for the following day. I work out if the day has felt successful or not, and if it has, why, and if it hasn't, why not, so I can learn from it. I then tidy my office, which is so important, get rid of all the clutter, shut everything down, make sure my laptop's all logged off and everything, and step away from my desk. Having that check-in and that check-out means that I can end my day knowing that I've done everything I needed to do and that I can have some time to get into my workday. It allows me to switch hats. It's something that a lot of professional women that I work with find really difficult, is stepping from their home life mode to their work life mode, because women, way more than men, unfortunately, bear a lot of responsibilities outside of work in terms of caring responsibilities, household chores. Whether you are a parent or not, whether you actually exist in a world where this is something you've decided to do or not, it tends to happen almost without us meaning to. So having that space to switch hats is incredibly important. And I've tried lots of different ways of doing this, but I found this check-in and this check-out a very simple, easy to implement way that doesn't take a lot of work, and I can do no matter where I am. Whether I am working from home or, as I am today, I'm working at my parents' house, I can check in and check out here, wherever I need to. It just allows me to switch in and switch out. So that's the second thing. And the third thing that I'm implementing in order to get my shit together this week, and there's going to be lots of other stuff we talk about over this series, but the third thing that I've implemented to start with is just being a little bit more intentional with my food. Now, I am someone who, for many, many years, too many years, tracked my calories. And I used to preach to clients that, tracking your calories is a great thing to do. It's not something you have to do forever, but it's a good thing to do. And I do stand by that. And I think a lot of people who are trying to understand their food can benefit from tracking their food. That doesn't have to mean tracking calories. I tracked my calories for many, many years. And in many ways, I think some of the ways that I did that actually damaged my relationship with food. And it's something I'm very, very cautious of with clients. If someone's not got a fat loss goal, I am not going to be tracking their calories because it's absolutely no point. It teaches you nothing. Because I tracked my calories for many years, I found it very difficult to actually understand if I was hungry or if I was full. I was so used to an app telling me what I should eat and when I should eat. And I got into this place where I was so used to not listening to my body that when I would get stressed or when this time of year would come about, when it was darker and colder and more miserable, I would just comfort eat. I would eat not because I was hungry, but because of other emotions, whether that was stress or anxiety or just boredom or cold. I would eat not because I was hungry, because I felt like I could. And so I've noticed in the last couple of weeks, particularly with the clocks changing, that some of those old habits are starting to pop back up again. I'm being less organised with my food. I'm choosing more options that aren't nutritionally good for me, I suppose. Like, obviously there is no such thing as a bad food, but I'm making choices that feel less right for me in the moment. I'm choosing things that are lower in fibre, and that's impacting my digestion. I'm choosing things that are much more hyper palatable, so very easy to overeat, and then I'm overeating them. I am being lazy and not cooking food just because I can't be bothered, and then not having the right amount of fruits and vegetables, which is impacting my nutrient intake. I'm noticing that I'm impacting my skin and my energy levels and my sleep and all of these things. And as someone who has IBS, I have to be very careful with my digestion. I'm making choices that aren't aligned and all of that stuff. So I've noticed all of that popping back up. So one thing that I am committing to doing is being a little bit more mindful and intentional with my food. And what I've done to do that is, first of all, I've planned my meals. I've gone through the week and gone, right, breakfast, lunch, dinner, every single day, what am I going to have? This, first of all, means that I actually know what I'm having, so I don't have to think about it. I don't get to the end of the day and go, oh crap, what are we going to have for dinner? I know what I'm having. It also means that I can do the food shop so that the fridge is stocked with stuff that I know I can cook and that it's easy and quick and that I know is there. I don't have to stress about trying to organise stuff. I've also stocked my freezer with very easy bits that I can grab and go, things like cook meals, microwave meals, stuff that is maybe less nutritionally optimal, but still better than some of the other choices I was making. And then I'm making sure that when I'm eating my meals, I am being present and mindful. When I'm busy, it is so tempting to either work whilst I'm eating, which I don't like doing, but I have a bad habit of doing, or because I want to switch off from work and because I just want to be distracted, I go from sitting at my desk typing to sitting on the sofa scrolling on my phone, watching YouTube videos or mucking about on Instagram, because I almost need something for my brain to be thinking about. But when I'm doing that, I'm not thinking about what I'm eating. And when I don't think about what I'm eating, I feel less full and satisfied. I don't enjoy my food as much because I'm literally not being present to taste it. And in general, I feel far more disconnected from my body, disconnected from food, and that tends to mean that I overeat, that I comfort eat, that I get caught in this cycle. So I'm also committing to spending less time on my phone whilst eating, so I actually am present and enjoy my food. So those are the 3 things that I am doing to get my shit together. I am committing to moving every single day. I am checking in and checking out every single day, and I'm being mindful and intentional with the food that I am eating. I know there are plenty of you out there watching this who also want to get your shit together, so follow along. In this series, I'm going to be talking about various things that you can do over this time of year to get rid of that sluggish, foggy, end of the year slump that we're all kind of falling into, and to actually end the year feeling confident, feeling in control, and like you have your shit together. So hit that subscribe button to follow along. Check out the description thingy below that has all the links to my various other platforms if you want to get other content from me, and I will see you next time.